Have you ever stopped to think about how love and relationships can be complicated? It's quite a journey, isn't it? Sometimes it feels like we're navigating turbulent waters without a compass or a map. And the worst is when we look around and it seems like everyone else has found their soulmate except us. Then comes that pressure, that feeling of being left behind. But calm down, take a deep breath. Let's talk about it. You know that feeling that the universe is conspiring against you in the love department? Yeah, a lot of people go through that. You look back and see a trail of broken hearts, disappointments, and relationships that didn't work out. It makes you want to throw in the towel, doesn't it? To give up and think that love just wasn't made for you. But what if I told you that all these experiences, no matter how painful, are guiding you towards something greater? Think about it. What if every relationship that didn't work out was actually a lesson, preparation for when the right person appears in your life? It's an interesting perspective, isn't it? Of course, in the heat of the moment when we're suffering from love, it's hard to see things from this angle. But with time and distance, we start to see the patterns, the lessons, the changes that each experience brought to our lives. Now let's talk about finding the love of your life. It's not easy, I agree. There's no magic formula, no foolproof step-by-step guide, but there are signs, little details that if we pay attention can guide us on this journey. The universe, or destiny, or any higher force you believe in, might be sending subtle messages. Question is, are we paying attention? Have you ever felt like you're experiencing a lot of coincidences all at once? Like hearing the same song in several different places on the same day? Or bumping into the same person in improbable situations? Many people dismiss this as mere chance. What if they were signs? What if the universe was trying to tell you something? Let's explore some of these possible signs. Have you ever dreamed about someone you hadn't seen in a long time, and the next day, that person messages you or suddenly appears? It's curious how our subconscious sometimes seems to know things before they happen, isn't it? These dreams could be more than just coincidences. They could be the universe's way of warning you that something important is about to happen in your love life. Another interesting sign is when you start seeing the same name everywhere. It could be the name of someone you recently met, or maybe a name that always caught your attention. Suddenly, you see this name on street signs, in books you pick up to read, in random conversations you overhear on the bus. It's like the universe is shouting, "Hey, pay attention to this name." Who knows, it might be the name of your future soulmate. Speaking of soulmates, do you believe in this concept? Many people use this term to describe that person who seems to complete you in a unique way. That inexplicable connection, that feeling of knowing the person for years, even if you've just met. It's a romantic concept, isn't it? But is there really just one person in the whole world who is perfect for you? Maybe the idea of a soulmate is a bit limiting. After all, we are complex beings, constantly evolving. Who's to say there is only one person capable of complementing us? Perhaps it's more interesting to think of kindred spirits, people with whom we have a deep connection, with whom we grow together and share a life. What do you think? Now, let's talk about that feeling of inner peace that sometimes catches us by surprise. Have you ever experienced it? That moment when, suddenly, you feel good about yourself, in harmony with the world around you. Many believe this is a sign that you are ready for a new love. It's like the universe is preparing you, putting you in the right state of mind to receive something special. It's interesting how often love comes when we least expect it. Right at the moment when we stop desperately searching, when we feel good alone, things start to happen. Maybe because, in this state, we are more open, more receptive, what the universe has to offer. Another curious sign is when you start losing interest in people who used to attract you. You know that type that was always your weakness? Suddenly you realize you no longer feel that attraction. It's like your heart is doing a cleanup, preparing for something new and better. The universe might be steering you away from old patterns that no longer serve you, making room for a more mature and meaningful love. And what about those people who reappear in our lives after a long time? Has it ever happened to you to reconnect with someone you met years ago and feel an unexpected connection? The universe works in mysterious ways, and sometimes the love of our life might be someone who crossed our path. Maybe it wasn't the right time back then, but now, with more experience and maturity, this person might be exactly what you need. It's fascinating to think about how all our experiences have brought us to this point, isn't it? Every broken heart, every disappointment, every moment of joy, every tear shed, all of it has shaped who we are today. And who knows, maybe all these experiences were necessary to prepare us for true love. But it's important to remember that finding love is not the end of the journey. In fact, it's just the beginning of a new adventure. Relationships require work, dedication, patience. There's no perfect couple, no love without challenges. The beauty is in growing together, overcoming obstacles side by side. Now, how about we talk a bit about how we can open up more to love? Often, without realizing it, we create emotional barriers out of fear of getting hurt again. It's a natural reaction after painful experiences. But these barriers can prevent us from fully experiencing love. A valuable tip is to work on self-love. You know that cliché about needing to love yourself first before loving someone else? Well, there's a lot of truth to it. When we're okay with ourselves, when we accept our qualities and flaws, we become more secure and open to receiving someone else's love. Another important thing is to be present in the moment. We live in an era of constant distraction, always with our phones in hand, always thinking about the next appointment. But love often manifests in small moments, in details. How about trying to live more in the here and now? Observe the people around you. Smile at strangers. Be open to unexpected conversations. Who knows, the love of your life might be waiting to be noticed. And speaking of being open, how about expanding your horizons? Sometimes we get stuck in a routine, always going to the same places, hanging out with the same people. Try new things, take a course, travel to a different place, practice a new hobby. Besides enriching your life, you increase the chances of meeting interesting people who share your interests. Now let's talk a little about the social pressure regarding love. Have you ever felt pressured for being single? As if there's a deadline to find someone? This pressure can come from family, friends, or even from ourselves. But it's important to remember that everyone has their own timeline. There's no right age to find love. No rule that says you need to be in a relationship to be happy and fulfilled. In fact, periods of being single can be incredibly enriching. It's a time to get to know yourself better, to invest in yourself, to strengthen friendships, and to pursue your dreams. Often, it's precisely when we are content being alone, we become more prepared for a healthy relationship. Speaking of healthy relationships, it's important to mention that not everyone is destined to have a romantic partner, and that's perfectly okay. Some people feel complete and fulfilled on their own, and there's nothing wrong with that. The important thing is to be true to yourself and not force something that doesn't make you happy just because society says you should. Now, if you are seeking love, how about reflecting on what you really want in a partner? Often, we have a mental list of characteristics that we think are important, but do these characteristics truly reflect what we need? Sometimes we're surprised by falling in love with someone completely different from what we imagined. It's interesting how love can catch us by surprise, isn't it? That person who initially didn't seem like your type suddenly becomes the most special person in the world. Or a longtime friend whom you suddenly see with different eyes and realize that love was there all along. The heart has reasons that reason itself does not understand, as the philosopher said. But what about when we find someone special? How do we know if it's the right person? Well, there's no single answer to this question. Each relationship is unique, each connection special in its own way. But there are some signs that might indicate you found someone truly special. One of these signs is when you feel comfortable being yourself around this person. You know that feeling that you don't need to pretend, that you can show your weaknesses without fear of judgment. This is precious in a relationship. When we find someone who accepts us as we are, with our qualities and flaws, it's a treasure to be valued. Another important sign is when you can talk about everything. Communication is the foundation of any healthy relationship. If you found someone with whom you can discuss your fears, your dreams, your crazy ideas, without fear of being ridiculed, That's something very special. And what about that person who encourages you to be your best version? Not in the sense of wanting to change you, but supporting your goals, believing in you even when you doubt yourself. Partner who celebrates your achievements as if they were their own, who stands by you in tough times. That's a true life companion. Of course, not everything is roses in a relationship. There will be disagreements, there will be difficult moments. The important thing is how you handle these challenges. If you can talk respectfully, if you seek solutions together instead of pointing fingers, that's a great sign of a mature and healthy relationship. But remember, no relationship is perfect. The idea of romantic love that we see in movies and books often doesn't match reality. Real love is made of ups and downs, of moments of pure happiness and challenges to overcome together. And if you haven't found that special love yet, don't despair. Keep living your life, pursuing your goals, being the best version of yourself. Love has a curious way of finding us when we least expect it. In the meantime, cultivate love in all its forms. Love for friends, for family, pets, for nature. The more love you put into the world, the more love tends to come back to you. And don't forget to be attentive to the signs from the universe. That song that plays at the right moment, that book that falls into your hands as if by chance, that person who suddenly appears in your life. The universe is always sending us messages. We just need to be open to receiving them. In the end, the journey of love is one of the most fascinating we can live. With all its ups and downs, surprises and challenges, it's an adventure worth living fully. So what do you think? Have you noticed any of these signs in your life? Have you had that feeling that the universe is trying to tell you something? Or maybe you've already found your special love and can share your story? Remember, every journey is unique. There's no magic formula for love, no guarantee of a happy ending. But there is the beauty of living each moment, allowing yourself to feel, being open to the possibilities that life offers. And who knows, maybe the love of your life is closer than you imagine. It could be that person you see every day at the coffee shop, or someone you have yet to meet in an unexpected situation. The important thing is to keep your heart open and your eyes attentive. After all, love is one of the most powerful forces in the universe. It has the power to transform lives, to heal wounds, to make us believe in something greater than ourselves. And that, friend, is something truly magical. So what do you say? Are you ready to open yourself up to love, to trust the universe and the signs it sends? The journey might be challenging, but I promise it's worth every second. Who knows what incredible adventures love has in store for you?